Have you ever found yourself skipping your quiet moments with God, wondering why it's so hard to stay consistent? Well, you're not alone. In this video, we're going to uncover the one behavior that might be disrupting your devotional time. And more importantly, I'll share practical tips on how to combat it. So if you're ready to reclaim those precious moments with Jesus and deepen your connection with God, stick around because you're in the right place. Hey there, family, and welcome back to Rachel G. Scott TV. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever wanted to spend time with God and you had it all planned out, what exactly was going to look like, or you had a consistent time every day that you met with God, and then all of a sudden, things just changed? Like life just did not let it work out that way. Well, today we're diving into a topic that many of us struggle with, and that is our devotional time and being consistent. So let me tell you, the kids recently went back to school and I started a full-time job. Now, that may not seem like anything big, but let me tell you what was going on before then. I was doing ministry full time. And because I was doing ministry full time, that meant that once the kids went to school, I got to sit at home, study the word for hours, worship, read, write, pray, cry, do all of those things. I mean, my time with God was like amazing. And then they came home for the summer. So I had to change it up a bit. And so I was doing my time with God in the morning and sometimes at nighttime. But once they started back to school and I started full-time working, everything changed. I had to figure out, what does it look like for me to have time with God now? So I tried different things. I tried in the morning time, but y'all, let me just tell you, morning time means like 5 o'clock. And so those of you that are out there, you're like, 5 o'clock. Listen, early bird catches the worm. I have never been an early bird catch the worm person. So I have to start work at 7:30. And although I'm blessed to have a virtual teaching job that I do, it still means I have to get up. I still have kids to get out the door. So I have to get them to school. And I have to get up, get myself ready for the day. Y'all, 5 o'clock is not happening for me, but I tried. So then I said, well, maybe I will try during my lunch period. I get a 30-minute lunch. Y'all, that lunch was like this. By the time I looked up and said lunch, 10 minutes had passed. Okay. There was no way that it was going to work. So I went to the next best resort, which was back to studying at nighttime. And that's when I realized something. I had kind of created a habit that suddenly crept up. I was bringing my phone to the room. Now, the only reason that this is a big deal is because about 3 or 4 years ago, I decided that I'm not bringing my cell phone into the room because I found it to be a distraction for me and my husband having quality time together. When I wanted to sit down and study the word, everything is quiet and calm down from the day. It was just a huge distraction. So I would typically put my phone in a different room, but I had stopped doing that. And all of a sudden, my phone was coming with me into the room, and then I would put it away once I got tired. Well, this had been going on for a while, but I didn't notice it because I would still have my morning time with God. And it became very clear when I couldn't have that time anymore. Now, why was this really a problem? Because I had more than enough time to study. I had more than enough time for my devotional time, but I was letting the cell phone get in the way. Now, if you're saying, well, that's not my problem, that's not my issue, that's not why for me, I don't have that problem. Here's the thing. It's not about the cell phone. It's about the domino. What is a domino effect? Well, it is a reaction of events that can be caused by a single chain of behaviors. I learned about this because I was following a lady years ago who specialized in helping you create a routine for keeping your house clean. Y'all don't ask me who she was. I can't even remember. I need to find her nowadays because her big thing was for busy moms. This is how you can be consistent with keeping your house clean. And the first thing she said is you have to figure out what is your domino. So I took that and I've used it in so many areas of my life. Like when it comes to how can I get to bed on time? Well, what is the domino for me not getting to bed on time? I realized that if I don't have dinner cooked early enough, then I'm not going to get to bed on time. So now I cook dinner sometimes in the morning, but oftentimes midday or right after I get off of work, so that when everyone gets home, we're getting to bed on time. Or I'll cook a 2-day meal because I'm looking at the schedule and saying, okay, we got volleyball this day, track this day, whatever sport you can think of. I probably am somehow the mom that is going to that. So I need to make sure that dinner is already prepared. Well, the domino for me was always, if dinner wasn't prepared, we were going to go to bed late. That's just the way that it was going to go. But if it was prepared, then we would get to bed on time. This is the idea of the domino effect. What is that one action or behavior that if it is not done, it will throw you back? But if it is done, it will move you ahead. So I'm taking that concept and I'm saying, Lord, I'm having a challenge with being consistent in my time with God. What is the domino? The domino for me was that I was taking my cell phone into the room during the time that I actually had available. So my domino was easy: leave the cell phone upstairs. So let's get into the nitty gritty. I'm going to share 3 tips on how you can overcome the behavior that's disrupting your time with God. Tip number 1: identify your domino. That's the obvious one, right? Identify what it is. For me, it was a cell phone or making sure that dinner was cooked in time. What is that domino for you? What is the thing that you have to get done in order to create the space and the time that you need to spend time with God? That's the first thing. The second thing is to plan ahead to avoid the thing that causes you to fall into the behavior. It almost seems too obvious. Plan ahead. For me, it is I'm going to put my cell phone away right after I take my shower. Or I'm going to put my cell phone away right after whatever time or at this time. What is the thing that you need to do? Plan ahead. There's a saying that says, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I think that that's true. If you don't plan ahead, how can you be successful in something? How can you set yourself up for success if you really want that time with God? You got to plan for it. And the third and final one is a little bit longer. Remember the 3 Ds of spiritual growth. What are the 3 Ds? Discipline, desire, and delight. I heard on a reel recently, Travis Green was talking about Psalm 37 and how everyone wants to delight in the Lord. They want to get to that place. But he says something so important. We first have to discipline ourselves. And from that place of discipline, a desire will build. And from that place of desire, we will begin to delight. But it starts with discipline. I have to discipline myself to put my cell phone away. And then that will build a desire as I'm getting into the word to say, "Ooh, I'm putting this cell phone away because I can't wait to get into the word." And from that desire, I'm going to delight in every word that I read, every scripture, everything that God shows me. I will begin to delight in the reading of his word. But it first started with me disciplining myself. And then he goes on to say something that I thought was like, he said, he won't give you what you want. He will give you what to want. Y'all listen, these 3 tips: identifying the domino, plan ahead to avoid the thing that causes you to fall into the behavior, and remember the 3 Ds of spiritual growth. This is how you will overcome that behavior that is disrupting you in your devotional time with God. You know what I always say, time with God is time you and I will never regret spending. Once you found that domino, you have to choose to do whatever is necessary to fight for that time with God. I pray that this blessed you. If it did, please share this with someone, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.